Hello there, traveller, and welcome to the Drowsy Dragon. Have you heard the news? By the end of this video, you will know three things. First of all the important things happening in World of Warcraft this week. We'll take a look at the Season 1 tier sets for Midnight and see who is coming out on top when it comes to sexy looks. And then also we'll look at how to change the music in your in-game house. Let's dive into it all. So there is only 2 more weeks left of the Turbulent Timeways event, so you're literally running out of time to get the achievement, the Master of the Turbulent Timeways this time around. Now, if you do get this achievement, you will get the Pterodon's mount voucher, which allows you to buy a mount from Pterodon in Oribos, and remember that the other 3 mounts, there's 4 to choose from, the ones that you don't buy with the voucher, you can buy those for Time Warp badges, 5,000 per mount. Now hopefully you've already completed this achievement or have enough completion currently this week, so if you're 4 out of 5, you can just get this next week and you're fine. If you've only got say 2 out of 5 weeks completed, you're not going to be able to get this achievement at this point, it's too late. It is also Burning Crusade Time Walking this week, so Demon Hunters, remember, this is your chance. It doesn't come around very often to get the transmoggable Warglaives of Azzanoth. Warglaives of Azzanoth for your Demon Hunter. So what you need to do for this is just on any character on your account have the achievement, the Feat of Strength, for collecting the original Warglaives from Illidan in Black Temple. If you've got that on your account, all you need to be a Demon Hunter and go and kill Illidan in the Time Walking version of the Black Temple. Do that, you'll get the achievement for holding these until he gets out, and you can then transmog the Warglaives on your Demon Hunter. Sadly, you can't do this on Warriors or Rogues and any other one-handed classes, but Demon Hunters rejoice because you can do it on there. Now, this is probably going to be quite a few months until Burning Crusade Time Walking comes around again, so do this now if you want that. And also with the raid, completing the quest Disturbance Detected Black Temple will get you the Heroic Cash, so you get a piece of hero tier gear for doing that, and also a chance at some mounts, so you can get the Ashes of Alar, you can get the Swift White Hawk Strider, and you can get the Reigns of the Raven Lord as well, so it's worth doing if you don't have those mounts. Also this week, Legion Remix is ending very soon. We've got just over 1 week left of Remix, so now's the time to just make sure you've got everything you want from Remix, do any last bits. And also remember, there is highly likely something coming in the final week of Remix. There is the achievement Cloudy with a Chance of Infernals to get, which is not currently attainable, so likely that's going to be active for the final week of Remix. I will let you know more when we find out about that. Legion Remix has been pretty great overall, hasn't it? There's been a lot of good things to get from it. It's been quite fun. The gearing's been a bit different. Some differences between Mock Remix and this, people have enjoyed that more than others. But we're definitely going to miss it, I think, when it's gone. It's been good, but there's some things I will miss from it. So here's my top 5 things that I'm going to miss from Remix. You tell me what yours are in the comments. So first of all, collecting the little balls in the sky, the little motes of bronze or whatever they're called, and destroying the Lost Legion demons that are in the sky. It's just satisfying. You see a little demon in the sky weaving around, you know you're going to go off your route and squash the demon, right? It just makes sense. Another big quality of life thing from Remix is these summon scrolls to raid, so it gave the Warlocks a little bit of a break. Everybody could summon, so of course still people just sat in Dalaran 1-2-3ing when Nighthold is literally right down there. Just fly, mate, it's not that long. But anyway, the summon scrolls are a really nice quality of life feature, as are the Drake biscuits. Imagine if we had those in retail as well. Such a nice thing. Oh no, I've run out of vigor charges. Never mind, just chuck a biscuit in its mouth and zoom, off it goes, big whirling surge, and you get all your charges back. So those are very nice indeed. Will be missed. Also, Nostwin's Return Voucher. How good a thing was that as well? So you can get your teleport to the Infinite Bazaar, and then when you're done doing your things, you've maybe changed your quests over, you can just port right back to where you were. That was a really cool thing as well. And also the last thing I'll miss, number 5, is just gearing up being so simple, straightforward. You basically get to max, just do content, and you just will get gear. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Didn't have to think about Valor Stones and crests and all that kind of stuff. You just got gear for doing stuff. But there we go. Those are my top 5 things I'm going to miss from Legion. Let me know what yours are. Let's head over to the in development section. So for beta news this week, what I thought we could do is take a close look at all the tier sets from Season 1 in Midnight and see who's coming up on top and whose tier sets are a bit of a disappointment. Now I'll do these in rank order, so this is my personal ranking of them. Again, let me know in the comments what your favourite tier sets are and which ones you're looking forward to getting. Now let's start with the worst ones and work our way up to the best. So, worst one has to be a tie between Hunter and Druid. Now, Hunter. It's correct when it comes to the Hunter vibe, this set. Now, normally I'm one who's a big fan of these glowy effects on the sets as well, like you can see here. But I don't feel like this one really fits. It probably would look better without it. It's nice how it makes your eyes glow, but it's just seeming a bit too much for a Hunter set. Having these humongous bones on your hand is going to make using a bow very difficult, or any weapon for that matter. And this big belt dong, I mean, it's got some lovely physics to it, but it's not exactly like a competent hunter wants to be caught swinging his big belt dong around, you know? Druid. So you can't deny this set looks very druidic in nature. See what I did there? This is seemingly a nod to the Haranir, the new race that we can get a hold of come midnight. Now, of course, they can be druids, so this makes a lot of sense. You've got roots, which druids are very fond of, and with the Haranir having that strong connection to the world trees and the root systems, it's very fitting indeed. Now, I really like the root claw hands and the fact that the glow effects aren't too in your face like the Hunter ones are. So, yeah, druid. Next up, we've got rogue. So, pretty strong Assassin's Creed vibes going on here. I quite like the addition of these seemingly 16th century Renaissance puff sleeves, which is something we haven't seen much of before. What really makes the rogue sets great are these subtle additions. So you got the coin bag on the belt with some potion vials tucked on the side. The daggers on the chest being quite obvious, but also then slotted into the hands, and a one on the right hand boot as well. So really prepared for any shenanigans going down. It does make you wonder what power's given these glow effects on the shoulders and chest piece, as it is the same colour as in the vials on the belt. Overall, really cool set, super roguey. What more could you want? Then we've got Demon Hunters. They're doing okay this time with the tier set. I don't quite get the obsession with huge horns or tusks on the headpieces though, when Demon Hunters already have horns of their own. It seems quite industrial for a tier set this time around as well. So you got the purple glow, being reminiscent of the new Devourer Demon Hunter spec, which is very fitting. The set overall isn't too bulky looking, aside from the shoulder and the helm, which is nice for an agile class, but it does look a little bit top heavy. The helmet on this set lets it down, especially when you see it from behind, which unfortunately you do all the time as the player, because it clips your hair off. This is something WoW really needs to work on. You know, what is the issue with giving us like hats and hair? In real life, if you put a hat on, it doesn't just poof, your hair's gone. Just give us hats and hair, man. It's not that hard, surely. The most annoying thing is there's an NPC that has a hat with hair that I've seen recently, so why can't players have it? Come on, Blizz. Next up, we've got Monk. So Monk is actually pretty damn cool, although there's some details that let it down. On the surface, it's quite Mogu-like, which seems a little bit odd, assuming the Mogo don't really have any reference in this first tier of Midnight. I could be wrong there. The glows from the helmet and shoulders are quite subtle and fitting for a monk's energy. Very practical looking outfit, with something different in the form of this rope around the chest piece, which looks nice, but then, when you see the back, you notice that it clips straight through the cape, which just ruins the effect if you ask me. So, you'd have to use this set without the cape, but come on. You've also got to give criticism here to the fact that you've got some 3D rope elements on the set, combined with some 2D rope elements in the cloak and boots. So you've got these ropey bits, some 2D, some 3D. It just feels a little bit janky when you stare at it for too long, so let's move on. Next up, we've got the Evoker. Now, it's such a shame with this set, if you ask me, that the Evokers cannot stay in their visage form during combat, as this set is actually very nice. So, lots of small draconic details with actual dragon heads on the more solid looking elements. You've got these subtle chains and spikes to add some depth to each piece. It isn't overstated. The helmet's extremely cool, with these spikes adorning it, leaving a lot of room for the Drakthir's actual horns, so that most styles of horn would look really good with this helmet. The shoulders are the absolute highlight of this set. Now, you'll notice that they pulse in a rotation of the different dragonflight colours, so it ends up looking quite chromatic in this spectrum. I love this detail about it, but it all kind of gets ruined whenever you pop into combat and you end up looking like this. It's such a shame, something that Blizzard really needs to change as well. Let Evokers either stay in visage form in combat, or let the Drakthir form have armour. And then we've got balls. Massive balls. Okay, it's actually Mage, but look at those massive, proud, humongous balls. I think it might be compensating for something, you know what I mean? So, when you look closer, there's actually even more balls. There's 6 balls in total on the shoulders alone. There's 1 on the helmet, 1 on the belt, 2 on the cape, and 1 nestled into each glove for a grand total of 12 balls. They're going to make Xalatath jealous, which is probably not a good idea. Balls aside, it's very mage-like and it fits quite well. You've got these little scrolls on the side so you can keep a tally chart of how many balls you've got and which one is hanging lowest, and if you've checked them this month. Seriously guys, check your balls. Moving on, balls. Anyway, warrior. So, warrior next, and this is a pretty solid set. Well, hopefully it's solid as they're going to be taking some hits in melee combat, right? So you've got some nice detail of wear and tear on the parts of the armour that are more exposed, which is less on the more internal parts of the armour, which is a nice bit of detail that makes sense. You've a mixture of solid pieces and some more flexible parts of the set, and even fur for warmth. Lots around the midsection, so the warriors are definitely looking after their balls. Can't say the same for those pesky mages gallivanting around with them dangling all over the place. The red glow effect here seems to work more than the one on the hunter set did. Probably because red and black is one of the best colour combinations you can have. I'm heavily biased in that regard. But perhaps more so because it fits the warrior theme really nicely. He looks angry, doesn't he? Like, if he came at you face to face, you're probably going to let out the scream of a 7-year-old girl, right? Just me? I'm alright with that. And now we've got Death Knight, another scary boy. Look at them shoulders, fresh from the freezer. The icy details on this set are incredibly nice. The helmet is more like a mask from some sort of crypt lord, which is very fitting. Letting this set down though is the belt chains that do indeed clip with the dress. And that's my least favourite part of this. If it had normal pants, perhaps this wouldn't be an issue. You've then got the back of the set though, which is pretty nice because the headpiece cleanly transitions into the cape there. That's also quite a nice touch, so pretty decent on the DK tier set. Then we've got Shaman before we dive into our top 3. So this set really does scream Shaman at you, doesn't it? And I know you're going to say it's pronounced Shaman. I'm sorry, but I say Shaman. And while it doesn't capture all the elements, typically these kind of sets don't always do that. So this one appears to be focusing more on that real primal fire and earth energy. The effect with the shoulder particles spinning around seemingly in an agitated way, with this red light energy sparking off randomly, is very cool. For some reason it's only the right hand shoulder that's kind of overloaded it seems, the left one's pretty chill. Chamois only have the 1 ball, loud and proud there hovering over the belt, but I suppose the other 3 energy balls up top do more than make up for this little nugget of the midriff. Now onto the top 3. Warlock. This set looks like it's been ripped straight from some chaotic rift or from the twisting nether, nailing the Warlock vibe. I do love that the chains on the shoulders float up instead of hanging down, with the rocky elements floating there suspended in time. You've got the green for the fell energy that Warlocks favour, and then the face of what seems to be like a manic, power-hungry demon lord on the helmet, which again, is kind of what a Warlock is, right? Very fitting set, and I do love the energy of it. Then we've got Priest. Surprising me here is Priest, as Priest is my least favourite class in the game by far, but this set I cannot deny is super nice. It does remind me a bit of Bastion from Shadowlands with this colour scheme here, which is not a most fond memory, but the details are brilliant. So it's quite a slender set, it's not too overstated, and just look at these shoulders. Now this isn't the first time Priests have had angels and things on the shoulders, but here we've got some Valkyrie, with this beautiful effect on the sword they hold, wrapped in angelic wings. Now this is also echoed by the headpiece, sharing the same effect, and it ties it together so well. No dodgy clipping elements, this is a super clean set, very well put together. Saving the best to last is Paladin. Now, just look at this beast of a set. So many cool little details in here. So first of all, the colour scheme absolutely slaps. You've then got these blood-like gems in the set, and this cracked one here on the belt, very cool, with pulsing light coming from the centre of it. Then you've got the battle-worn texture as well, especially on the shoulders, so you've again got some more cracks which you can see the light starting to pour out through. And then on the left-hand shoulder there's this sorrowful-looking face with tears of light pouring from within, which is kind of what hunters might look like when they see their tier set. Speaking of looking, there's also this pervy little dude on the cape who looks rather sinister, but he can be your travel buddy, I guess, always looking directly at the player and judging them, which makes a lot of sense. I love this set, genuinely think it's one of the best sets that's been brought to the game in recent times. Top tier for sure. Let me know which one you like the most, what's your favourite? And that takes us to our tip of the week. So, This week it's a tip for housing again. Now don't worry, they're not always going to be housing related tips, but this is how you can get your own music, well the music of choice from in-game, in your in-game house. So well done to Keyboard Turner for creating this awesome add-on called Housing Music. It's as simple as that, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. So as soon as you install this add-on, you can go into your in-game home, you can have a separate playlist for your Horde and your Alliance house, and you basically just choose what music you want. There's many tracks from in-game scenes. It's not just music, it's also things from cutscenes and things like that as well. You can create a playlist, you can share the playlist. Now currently this doesn't work if you set the music for your home and somebody walks in. It's not going to automatically start playing your playlist, but you can share it to them if they have the same add-on and it will play the same music. So that's how you can set the vibe for your house if you want to share your music that way as well. Brilliant add-on. There you go. Music in your home. Maybe in time we'll get a jukebox system like we had in our garrisons in WoD. That would also be a good way of doing this too, but for now we've got this add-on. So thank you Keyboard Turner for creating that. And that brings us to the end of the episode guys, so thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week and we'll be talking about the pre-patch for Midnight, so there'll be some survival tips for that. There's also going to be a separate guide on the channel all about the pre-patch and everything that's coming, so a bit more of an in-depth specific guide to that. But thank you so much for watching this episode today, and do like and subscribe for more content like this from me, all about World of Warcraft at the Drowsy Dragon. Remember, we have got the Patreon if you would like to support the channel directly by doing that. We've just got the one tier, the $1 tier, so for some behind the scenes stuff and extra bits, feel free to check out the Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I've been the Drowsy Dragon, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. See you next time. Cheers!